Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. Today's presentation is how to build awareness and increase membership through digital advertising. And with us today is Scott Archuleta. He is an account executive with Digital Mark Group. The Arizona Golf Association has worked with Scott over the last couple of years, and him and his team. And what they've done for us is help us really grow our membership and then also increase engagement among non-golfer or non-members. So I just wanted to quickly turn it over to Scott, and he has a great presentation, and then we have some time for questions. Scott, take it away.
Thank you, Ange. Hi, everybody. Good to virtually see everybody. Too bad we can't get together in person this year, but sign of the times. So again, my name is Scott Archuleta. I'm an account executive with the Digital Mark Group, or otherwise known as DMG. We're a full-service digital marketing company based in Portland, Oregon. And I've worked with the AGA for the last couple of years. I've also worked with the NCGA and the SCGA here in 2020. And I have a presentation that I just kind of walk through with you to help you understand who we are, the things that we do, the products and services that we employ to help, and strategies that we help to employ to help our clients, in this case, golf associations, increase membership, engage with current members, and build awareness and explain to the golf community in any of the states that you all are from why it's important and to join a golf association, the benefits that come with that. So we'll get started here. And if there's any questions, feel free to stop me and ask at any time. So again, Digital Mark Group stands for, or DMG stands for Digital Mark Group. And again, we work with clients from all different industries, not just golf, health, auto, entertainment, really anything that you can think of. Any industry that is in need of digital advertising. And we offer omni-channel capabilities, which basically means that we can build strategies and campaigns that are designed to engage with users on multiple devices and multiple platforms. And some of those that we use are contextual advertising, behavioral advertising, demographic advertising, remarketing, native advertising, cross-device targeting. We'll talk a little bit more about this stuff as we move through the presentation here. And then in order to do that, we employ a series of different strategies that include SEM, or search engine marketing, otherwise known as Google AdWords, national or local SEO, or search engine optimization, on off-page SEO, which really, for the most part, is going to be writing content in an effort to drive people back to your website. On-page SEO, if necessary, helping clients with things, make a site more SEO friendly, make it speak better to the search engines, Google, namely, helping things like page titles, schema tags, things along those lines. Also, social advertising. We also do social organic page management as well. So one product that we have that I've used with the AGA for the last couple of years is called Polygonal Targeting and Attribution, or PTA for short. And essentially, PTA utilizes a technology called geoframing. And what that allows us to do is build a first-party audience that is comprised of people that we know that were at any location up to a year in the past. So that could be a golf course, Topgolf, a mall, anything like that where you think that your customers or potential golfers may be at. So we can use that. We can use these audiences in two different ways. One is to help attract and market to members as well as non-members, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. So again, uses geoframing technology, and what we basically do is we build a geoframe, or a virtual boundary, around any structure or any place of business. So that would be the boundary of a golf course, or the boundaries of a PGA Tour Superstore, as an example. When we do that, we are able to capture the smartphone device ID of any phone that has been within that geoframe or virtual boundary up to a year in the past. And then we are able to comprise all those mobile IDs into an audience for you, and use that to begin to send your golf association ads to them. And with that, we're able to provide you with several points of key demographic data. from demo to household income to zip codes or geos that these devices live at, lifestyle interests, whether they go to movies, things along those lines. A lot of demographic information that can be used in the execution of a PTA strategy, or even use that to build a lookalike campaign that we could use to create a targeted display strategy as well. Geoframing, you may have heard geofencing. This is a little different. Geofencing is technology that we do offer as well, but we use geoframing a lot more often. Geofencing is used, the information is collected using cookies, and the area of measurement is only going to be in the form of a circle or a radius, and that those devices can only be captured while the geofence is active. Whereas geoframing, again, we can look back up to a year in the past. Okay. We have something called household extensions that we can employ if necessary. Sometimes we'll do that if an audience isn't large enough to really scale an effective PTA strategy. And what that essentially means is, once we capture a device that's been seen at any golf course or place of business that we're targeting, when the device gets home and connects to its home Wi-Fi, we can now connect or capture the other devices that connect to that home Wi-Fi as well. Another thing that we have the ability to do with geoframing or PTA is something called reverse append. And essentially what that means is we can take your either current member database or even your last member database, and we can take the information that you have about these individuals, which is most likely going to be physical addresses, but email addresses work as well. And we can take that audience and convert that audience into mobile IDs, and then use that to execute a geoframing or PTA strategy. So this is a great way, again, to target different competitors, different golf courses, or any golf courses in your area that you think might be beneficial to market to new members, or remind current members that, hey, end of the year, it's time to renew your membership, things along those lines. How geoframing works, the technology, it's pretty simple, actually. It's used, the data that we collect is used through the location services that are enabled anywhere within the device. So in all the cell phones that we have, you can turn on location services in your general settings. You can also turn it off. But if someone has has location services turned off in the general settings, as long as location services is enabled within any of the apps that they have on their phone, Instagram, Facebook, ESPN, whatever, we can then identify that specific phone was in this golf course or this PGA Tour Superstore or this Vans Golf at some point over the course of the last year. Finally, the other thing we can do with it as well, which is something we did do with the AGA this year, once we have that first party audience built, we are able to track those cell phones back to their social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we can then deploy a PTA social campaign, which will, let me give you an idea what that looks like here. Hold on, I'll come back to that. We can reach out to those individuals through the social media platforms with your association's ads to promote membership, events, whatever it is that you find necessary and goals that you're trying to achieve and through advertising. Are there any questions? Oh, okay. So I put together here a case study that kind of summarizes the campaign that we ran this year with the Arizona Golf Association. So the objectives were to build brand awareness and attract new members for the AGA. We utilized PTA display and PTA social. The target audience was adults 18 plus who have visited a local PGA Tour Superstore, Dick's Sporting Goods, Vans Golf, or Valley Golf Center, which is a local driving range slash golf retailer here in the Phoenix area, as well as about 200 golf courses that we have here in the state. So the target geo or target area was Arizona. The platforms that we used were mobile, desktop, and tablet, and we ran this campaign from March 1st through June 31st. There was a pause in the strategy when COVID first started, so we didn't run through the month of April, but once we got past that to a certain degree, Chris, turn that back on. So the outcome is that we generated a total of 227,178 impressions, and that generated 486 clicks in total, or a 0.21 click-through rate, or CTR. And the click-through rates with a PTA campaign are consistently higher than the industry average of any display campaign out there, where a targeted display strategy is generally going to produce an industry average click-through rate of about 0.08. And so a PTA strategy typically, or not typically, it always does deliver a higher CTR than a standard display strategy. And the reason for that is that we're targeting to a very hyper-targeted audience. We're speaking to a very hyper-targeted audience. So someone that we know was at a golf retailer or a golf course. And as we all know, generally speaking, for the most part, anybody that's seen at or has visited one of those locations is going to be somehow involved in golf. So that's the reason that CTR rates are typically higher in a PTA strategy. These are examples of the creative that we ran this year for the AGA. On the left is the desktop version of the ads that we, not desktop, the display portion of the ads that we ran. So these ads were seen on people's cell phones. They would be seen in their browser on Google or Google Chrome or Safari as they're navigating through the internet, or different apps that allow for ad placement. ESPN is a good example. ESPN, if anybody uses the ESPN app, you'll see probably local ads in your area that are promoting any company or service that's in your city or state. On the right is an example of the social ad. So again, same creative in terms of imagery and overall messaging, but with this, we're able to include more of a detailed description of what the call to action is. So in this case, it's to promote membership and joining the USGA, and in order to receive special discounts and offers, things along those lines.
Scott, we do have a question.
Sure.
The question is, are you tracking back to membership acquisitions from the 486 clicks? And I can answer that. So yes, we do we do track the memberships associated. So we're driving members from these ads to a very specific club, and it's our own online club. And during that same time period from March 1 through the end of June, we gained 479 new members into that specific club. So.
Yeah, and I think part of that reason is the product itself, the technology itself, the ability to target and do some of the things that I spoke about earlier. Part of that also probably is just the surge that we've seen in golf in general across the country this year. But those are great statistics. Looks like Jane Hooper might have a question.
That was the one from Jane.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I just saw that come up right now. Anyway, so hopefully that answers your question, Jane. If not, feel free to hop in again and ask another question or a follow-up. Moving on. This is an example of the reporting that we offer. And so one thing that really separates us from other companies within our space is reporting. We pride ourselves in giving our clients very detailed reporting to help them understand how their campaigns and the strategies within those campaigns are performing on a not just a monthly but also a weekly basis. But this is an example of a monthly campaign summary report that I sent to the AGA that illustrates the performance of their campaigns we're running in the month of June. So in the month of June, you can see here that we ran just over 105,000 impressions, which generated 166 clicks and a 0.16 click-through rate. And if you can see, let me increase the size a little bit here. So we can see this report details the creative, how each ad size performed by impressions, how each ad size performed by CTR, and down here is just another, on the bottom, just another way of looking at the amount of clicks that each ad size generated. So in this case, a 320 by 50, that's our mobile size ad, and that's how most of the impressions are consumed. So typically, any PTA strategy that I run, the mobile ads, the mobile size ad, which is 320 by 50, does the best. Then we have some more information, which includes total click-through rate here, but also it shows us the cities that these devices came from that were clicked on. So in this case, Phoenix, which is no surprise, generated the most clicks as the largest city in Arizona. But with the strategy, we targeted the whole state of Arizona, so it wasn't just Phoenix. So not only did we see engagement in Phoenix, but we also saw engagement in Scottsdale, Mesa, and Glendale, as well as Tucson. And Tucson is, for anybody that hasn't been to Arizona, Tucson is about 2 hours south here of Phoenix. But nevertheless, Tucson delivered, at least in June, the second most clicks of all the impressions that we served for the PTA display portion. This is some demographic information, or not demographic information, day of week information. So it shows us, in this case, that mobile, this pie chart on the left here, mobile generated the most clicks versus tablet. And we could also see the day of week that performed the best based on impressions served and clicks. So in this case, in the month of June, Sunday and Monday had the highest level of engagement. And then down here at the bottom, we can see the hour a day where the most engagement took place. And in this case, it was in the evening hours, so basically 5 p.m. Up until about 11 p.m. at night. So that's the time where most people were seeing the ads and engaging with the ads. And then here is the social ad summary. So the first part that we talked about was the PTA display, which if you go back to the ad examples I showed you, that was the ads that were seen on the left-hand side of the screen. The PTA social was a separate strategy, which was running sort of mutually exclusive with the PTA display. And so this was, we're just targeting the individuals within that PTA audience that we built back to their Facebook and Instagram pages. So in this case, in the month of June, we generated, or we delivered, I should say, 76,540 impressions, and that generated 781 clicks and over a 1% click-through rate. That's pretty good because industry average for a social advertising campaign in terms of click-through rate is about a 0.40. So we well exceeded that. And we were able to reach just over 23,000 unique devices. And on the bottom here, you can see the demographics of people that engage with the ads, is age-wise, and then on the right-hand side of the pie chart details the amount of male versus female breakdown of who engaged with the ads. So in this case, it was mostly male compared to female, but the female participation was pretty strong, just over 31% there.
Scott, we have another question.
Sure, fire.
From Barb Trammell, does DMG create the ad or does the AGA provide the creatives for the campaign?
Yes and yes. We can create the ad from scratch. In AGA's case, they sent us the imagery that we used as well as copy points and things like that along those lines, and we just piece it all together and send it to the AGA for approval. But I have some clients that will send me completed ads and we just use those for them. For the most part, we create our clients' ads for them as part of the service that we provide. But again, yes and yes is probably the best way to answer your question. We can create them or you can send us created ads. We can use those as well. Okay. Anything else there, Ange?
Nope, that's
okay. Cool. And this is just some more information about the social ad performance in terms of device performance. So in this case, mobile devices consumed most of the impressions and generated by far the most clicks. Again, another way to look at the by city performance as well. So you can see that the Phoenix area generated had the most clicks, but Tucson definitely had a share of clicks as well. So that's all I have about PTA. Are there any questions about PTA before we move on? And we can circle back later on if necessary too. No? Okay. So another tactic or strategy that we use, which is very successful, is search engine marketing. I would assume that most people have at least had some experience with a search engine marketing strategy or SEM. And so basically what we do here is when you log on to Google in this case, and all the results that come up at the top of the page for any query that you've entered, those are the paid search results. The results that come up on the bottom of the page are the organic search results or the results that are generated through search engine optimization. They're all the same thing. We all have a tendency to, for whatever reason, want to move past the paid results at the top of the page and go to the bottom, but it's all the same information that you're receiving. So this gives us a way to send ads to individuals who are searching for keywords that are related to golf courses, golf membership, handicap, golf associations near me, things along those lines. And we would work with you to build a keyword report and keywords that we would target to achieve the best results possible. And then we launch those strategies, and we are constantly optimizing and monitoring the performance of those keywords to make sure that they're delivering the results that we're looking for, and things along those lines. So we provide audience insights, bidding optimization, keyword research, A/B testing. These are all kind of things that we do behind the scenes. But search engine optimization is a very good way to promote your association to people that are searching for it online. I mean, it gives you the best opportunity to get in front of them with top of the page results as they're performing different keyword inquiries on Google or Bing or Yahoo. Additional targeting capabilities that we have is podcasting. We can help you reach potential golfers through podcasting, and we do this with a using a programmatic targeting model, which basically means is we are targeting podcasts that'll run across the country. We can layer in different targeting such as age, demo, golf enthusiasts, things along those lines. So this is definitely an up and coming product. Podcasting, I think we're all pretty aware this podcasting has become a very popular trend among and when it comes to entertainment and providing information, and we can help you get in front of people that are consuming that type of information as opposed to radio or advertising, things like that. Another thing that we do is app ownership targeting. This is one that I think could be a really good fit for any association. So basically we have the ability to market and send ads to people that have specific apps downloaded on their phone. So that could be apps that are, it's maybe the Gin Handicap app, Golf Now app, your association possibly, golf games, anything that's golf related. We can identify people that have an app like that on their phone and then send them ads, because if they have an app downloaded on their phone like that, that's a golf related app, especially the Gin app or something like that, they are a golf enthusiast and most likely a golfer. So we have the ability to target them, and I pulled in basically the audience that we have across the country right now of people that have a golf-related app on their phone is about 4.5 million, give or take, somewhere between 4 and 5 million. So there's a large audience there. And we can also, if we employ a strategy like that, we have the ability to segment it by state or geographic area. Okay.
Scott, can you, do you choose a specific app or do you choose a category of apps?
We can do either. Probably what we would do to keep it as broad and also kind of niche as possible would be to choose a category of app. So that gives us the largest opportunity, or the best opportunity to reach the largest audience possible. Where if we're just targeting people that say have the Gin app or the Golf Now app, that's going to probably narrow that audience down a little bit more than we would like it to. So I think the best tactic to employ a strategy like this would be to choose a category, in this case, golf.
Okay.
And then contextual targeting, this is, we have, when we execute a targeted display campaign, we typically employ either a contextual target, both a contextual targeting and a behavioral targeting tactic, and we'll talk more about behavioral in a second here, but contextual targeting essentially means is we are sending ads to people that are consuming content that is somehow related to the product or service that we're advertising. So in this case, it would be golf content. So maybe people that have search or reading content supplied by Golf Digest or any golf publication. We have the ability to identify those individuals and then send them your association's advertisements. Because again, if you're reading anything by any information about golf in any way in Golf Digest, you're probably going to be a golfer. So it gives us a great method to target individuals that we know or have a pretty darn good idea or would be open to joining a golf association. Then behavioral targeting, this is pretty simple. Essentially what we're doing here is we're targeting individuals based on their behavior on the internet. So if they are searching for golf-related content, watching golf-related videos, swing tips, I'm a golfer, I'm guilty as probably most golfers are of over-consuming swing tips and how to do this or how to do that. I would definitely fit into the category of somebody that's a golf enthusiast and based on my online behavior and search history. So with that in mind, it's not uncommon for me at all to see golf-related ads as I'm tooling around through my own personal Google searches and things along those lines. Remarketing. This is actually a very simple but a great tactic that I believe that every association should employ. And this kind of goes back to the thing I mentioned before about omni-channel capabilities. Omni-channel capabilities basically is we have multiple ways, platforms that we're advertising. So say it's social media, say it's remarketing, but it's all focused on the customer. And with this remarketing, what we do is essentially we place a pixel on your golf association's website, and we can identify that somebody came to the website but then left. So they went to the website for a reason. They've shown interest. So then what we do is we follow them wherever they're on the internet after that and send them your golf association ad. Maybe they got there just to look at tournaments in your area. Or maybe they went there to simply inquire about new membership opportunities. Based on that pixel data that we gather, we're able to identify those individuals or those IP addresses and supply them or send them your association's ads. So this is a great tool that I think is a powerful one that should be used in pretty much every case, because again, people have went to your website, they're basically walked into your place of business, looked around and left. So they've shown some interest, and it's a great way to identify an audience that has shown interest and continue to market to them until they inevitably, hopefully, join a club and purchase a membership. So that's everything that I have right there. If there's any questions, I would love to answer them. No?
So as I mentioned before, the AGA has used digital group for the last 2 years, and we increased our spend with DMG this year and included that social piece because it's something that we really wanted to try. We were really interested in it. And for us, the 479 memberships that we were able to gain during that same time frame, March 1 through the end of June, especially during a global pandemic when a lot of people were urged to stay home and not do anything, we gained a significant amount of memberships and revenue through that campaign time period. So we were very appreciative, and we can see that it works. We like it, and it's something that we plan to do, each year. So if anybody has any questions for Chris or I here at the Arizona Golf Association, we are absolutely happy to answer those. And I know Scott has provided his contact information as well, and he'd be happy to speak more about any of these tactics.
Absolutely. And Angela, if I'm not mistaken, the 479 new members, that's a significant jump compared to last year's strategy.
It was, yes, absolutely. So during both probably May and June, we saw twice as many new members as we did in 2019.
That's great. That's awesome. Great. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, I'll let you all get back to your day. If anybody does have any follow-up questions, feel free to send me an email or give me a call directly. Or if you can't find my contact information, I'm sure that Ange or Chris can provide that to you, but I look forward to working with everybody or anybody down the road. So feel free to reach out, and thank you for your time.